The anti-smacking law pushes the real abusers underground, and it makes it worse for our children. The people that need to be reached are not even listening. Look at the amount of child deaths since the so-called effective bill was passed. The people that are being affected are good parents already. The ones who will do what is right and are law-abiding people. This is such a smokescreen. The real perpetrators are not talked to because the police and community services have no teeth to do anything. I believe they target good parents because they know that these people don't cause problems. And all police and proponents of this bill can say is, see, we're doing something. Well, they're not. The day this nation has to legislate that its people, by law, have to care and be kind to each other, and especially to our babies and our children, we're in deep trouble, and we as a nation should be concerned. We need courageous leaders with courage to do the right thing and use common sense. Please, we have taught people their rights. Now it's time to step up and teach them the personal responsibilities that come with those rights. That's why 87% voted no, because we want common sense to tackle these problems. It's time, New Zealand, to get real. And as a victim of child abuse, I want to deal with the real causes. And criminalising good parents is not the answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl and Bev. This has got to be one of the biggest marches in almost 30 years. Do you know that? In 30 years' history, this is one of the biggest marches that's been down Queen Street, because this issue is important. And I want to introduce a very special lady to you. I've only met her and got to know her over the last couple of weeks. But in 1999, she was enjoying retired life, and she came out of retirement to start a referendum. Now, at Family First, if we want to contact 6,000 people, I just have to press the send button and send a message out and attach a link, and it's all there and done. All this lady had was a fax machine. And she ran a referendum saying, we don't need 120 MPs, we only need 99. And 82% of you supported that. And the politicians said, would you welcome, please, Margaret Robertson?
I was motivated to start a petition to reduce the number of MPs after listening to Parliament. Their inane comments and general behaviour was disgraceful. Sadly, nothing has changed. The petition and following referendum, overwhelmingly supported by voters, was ignored by Parliament. When the petition was started, Parliament consisted of 120. Now we have 122 in our voted Parliament. The ever-increasing support staff and accommodation requirements in Wellington and around the electorates means that Parkinson's law has really taken over. Needless to say, you, the taxpayers, are poorer. It is time for self-service to end and for public service to begin. Ignoring the wishes of the people is what we expect in a dictatorship, not in a democracy. Remember that thousands of young New Zealanders died to protect our democracy, heritage. It is now our duty to reclaim what we have lost. Many thanks for your support today, and please phone your MPs and tell them we want democracy.
Let's hear it from Margaret Robertson. And isn't that democracy in action? One person, one fax machine, no government funding. And still got us on side and said that matters. I've only marched in two issues. One was 2 years ago when John Boscawen led a march against the Electoral Finance Act, which attempted to shut down non-political groups, basically. Politicians could speak, but groups couldn't. And at that time, John Key was the leader of the opposition. He didn't attend the march, but he sent a note to be read out to the audience. And I want to read that message to you today. This is from John Key. Labour is not listening, National is. Today I give you this assurance. If I have the privilege to be the next Prime Minister, I will overturn this law. He was referring to the electoral finance law. I will set about building a proper political consensus for fair changes to our electoral rules. And here's the best bit. I will listen to what people like you and many thousands of others are saying. You are fighting for a principle. You are fighting for the most important principle. You are fighting for democracy. I salute you, John Key. Well, thank you, John. We agree, don't we? We agree with you, John. We are fighting for the most important principle, democracy, and when families speak, politicians should listen. Our next guest in the final of the referendums, he's the leader of the Sensible Sentencing Trust. He is a voice for many in this nation. He is a spokesman for many victims. He's passionate about New Zealand, and having got to know him, I'm proud to have him as a friend. Would you welcome Garth McVicker?
Thank you, Bob. I want to thank you guys out there. It's just an amazing journey that we have been on. I think this is just another small step in that journey. I was talking to some people on the plane who flew up from Napier to be here. I was talking to some families who drove up from Waipakarau and brought their kids up. That's amazing to make that sort of commitment, but that's what's going to make this country great. So thank you people for being here. Amazing. I also want to thank Colin Craig, for an ordinary guy like Colin to step out. I can tell you, it takes a lot of courage. You think twice about it, you think very carefully about what you're doing, and I thank Colin for that. It's incredible. Thank you, Colin.